Hi, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel, and make sure you click on a bell and switch on all notifications so you are notified when we are uploading new videos, which we are doing every day. Okay, let's get started. Before you go on and create a project, I just want to show you something that you have to download from this course. This will be attached in this lecture, and it's going to be coffee assets folder. If you open, you're going to have some pictures inside, which is the basket picture and some of the coffee images I found on Google. We're going to use it for our application. And then there is a file called menu.swift, and here if you open, I have created few dummy coffees this is basically going to be our menu. We have some hot drinks, we had some filtered drinks, and we have some cold drinks. In my case, these are mainly coffees, but if you want, depending on your shop, you can have some tea or some juice there, etc. So these are just some objects we are putting in an array, and we're going to save this in our Fireplace so we can use this menu. I'm giving you this code. We're going to explain what this means just for you to copy and paste so you don't have to type everything because it's quite a lot. So once you download this coffee assets file, you can go to your Xcode. I'm going to create a create new Xcode project, and this is going to be a single view application under iOS. I'm going to click next, and I'm going to call mine iCoffee. And make sure under user interface it says SwiftUI, language is Swift. None of these ticks are required. And then if you have an account with Apple as a developer, you can choose it from here. And then you need your organization identifier. Usually this is reverse domain name and just your name there. Click next. This will ask you where you want to save your project. I'm going to do it on my desktop, and also I'm going to tick to create a Git repository on my Mac. Just click create, and this will create the project for us. Let me just make it full screen here. And on the right side, we're going to have our canvas, which is going to be like running our simulator without running the simulator. So it's going to show in real time what our application is like. So let me just resume this to see if our application is working. On our first run, it will take some time to build the project, but once it's done, you are going to see just a simple view with a hello world in it. Let me just zoom out. All right, so if you are completely new to Swift UI, I would suggest taking some beginner course, because in this course I'm not going to get into details what specific things mean, and if you're familiar with Swift, it will be easier for you. But trust me, for Swift UI, it's quite different from the normal Swift and from the storyboard building model of building application. So for some things that are simple on storyboard, doing it may not be simple in SwiftUI. When it comes to designing the user interface, it's much easier and much better. When you're coding, there are really like underwater stones there, which you need to get used to. And the way it works is completely different from the normal Swift. So if you are new, you can still follow the course and you will get something out of it. But I would suggest taking some beginner level courses, maybe even on YouTube, to get up and running with Swift UI. So once you have created your Xcode application, what we're going to do is to go to our Fireplace. If you have closed it, just log in, and I'm going to create a new project here. And this says enter your project name, and I'm going to call this, let's just, Let's try iCoffee and let's click continue. I'm going to disable Google Analytics because we are not going to use this for our project. This will take some time to create your project, and let's leave it there. And I'm going to go back to my Xcode here, and once you click on the name of your application, what we are going to need now is this bundle identifier. So I'm going to copy this. Let's get here, and as you can see, it's done. So I'm going to click continue, and then we have this project here ready for us. I'm going to click on iOS so we can get started with it, and then it asks for our iOS bundle ID. So I'm going to paste it here. The rest of it is not required. I'm going to register my application. And once you have done, it will create a Google Service Info plist file, which is specific for your project using your bundle identifier that you have provided. So you have to download this, and this will go to my downloads folder. And once you download, you need to import it to your project. So select the info.plist file, go to File, Add Files to, and then you will have your project name. And here I'm going to go to Downloads, and let's find our latest file here. And just import it. Make sure that the name doesn't have a number at the end, because this is the third file in my downloads folder. So I just added the 3 at the end. The name of the file should be Google Services info.plist without any numbers. Otherwise, it is not going to work. So once you have done this, added the file to your project, we can close the project. We can go to our Fireplace here, then we can go click next, and it's telling us how to install CocoaPods. So how to install Fireplace through CocoaPods. And to do this, what we are going to do is use our terminal. So I'm opening my terminal. Then you need to navigate to your project folder. In order to navigate, you say cd change directory, and the easiest way to navigate to your project folder is just drag your folder, drop here, hit enter, and this will take the path to the folder by itself. Then you say ls just to check where we are, which is list, and then you can see what you have in your folder here. If you open, you are going to see the same thing. We have a folder iCoffee and then iCoffee Xcode file. So in order to install CocoaPods, we are going to create what is called a pod file. So how we are going to create a pod file, we say just pod init, hit enter, and this will create a pod file in our folder. You can see here. I can double click on it to open it, and this is going to open in a text file. And after our use framework line here, just before our pods for the iCoffee, what we are going to do is to put our Fireplace pods here. So let's go to our project here, and we're going to click next because this part we have done. And then it's telling us how to get started with Fireplace, which is okay. Click continue, and let's just go to our database. So whatever we have here is done with the Fireplace part. We are going to install some of the Fireplace libraries. What mainly we need is to have the option to authenticate the user. So we're going to log in the user. And then we are going to use the database in order to save our menu here, save our orders, save our users, etc. So we are going to use our Fireplace authentication, and the Fireplace database, which in new Fireplace is called Firestore.